Module Overview. Real estate is not only about physical property and market valuation, it is a legally intensive industry built on a foundation of laws, statutes, regulatory frameworks, government policies, compliance obligations, and dispute resolution mechanisms. Module 8 of this course delves deep into the legal and regulatory environment that governs the development, ownership, leasing, transfer, investment, and use of residential, commercial, industrial, and land properties. In this module, you will explore the statutory and customary land laws, licensing frameworks, building regulations, tenancy laws, title registration systems, zoning and planning regulations, environmental compliance, property taxation, and investment protection instruments that regulate the real estate industry across different jurisdictions, with a special focus on developing nations like Nigeria and developed environments such as the UK, USA, and Canada. This module also addresses the role of regulatory agencies, due diligence practices, legal documentation, and conflict resolution mechanisms such as arbitration, litigation, and mediation. The discussion includes property fraud prevention, digital land systems, anti-money laundering measures, contract enforcement, and real estate professional ethics. It prepares you to operate legally and ethically within the property market. Fundamentals of property law and legal rights. Real property versus personal property. Bundle of rights: possession, control, enjoyment, exclusion, and disposition. Freehold versus leasehold estates. Legal interest, equitable interest, and beneficial ownership. Concept of title, legal proof of ownership. Types of land tenure systems. Customary land tenure, family inheritance, community trust, and clan-based ownership. Statutory land tenure, rights granted under national land laws. Nigeria's Land Use Act of 1978. Governor's consent, certificate of occupancy, C of O, RA of O leasehold tenure in the UK and Canada. Fee simple absolute, USA and Canada. Land registration and title documentation. Deed of assignment, deed of lease, and deed of sublease certificate of occupancy, C of O versus. Right of occupancy, R of O. Title search and verification, land registry and geographic information systems, GIS. Encumbrances, liens, and mortgage charges. Fraud detection and land duplication risks. Zoning laws and urban planning regulations. Residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, and mixed-use zoning development control permits and planning consents. Setback rules, plot ratio and height restrictions. Environmental impact assessments, EIA. Urban renewal policies and slum clearance laws. Real estate licensing and professional regulations. Licensure of real estate agents, developers, and valuers. Role of professional bodies. NIESV, REDAN, RICS, ARCON Code of Conduct and Ethics, Anti-Corruption and Professional Misconduct. Continuing Professional Development, CPD requirements. Building codes, construction laws, and safety standards. Structural and fire safety regulations. Building permits and inspection regimes, National Building Code compliance, labor laws and safety regulations at construction sites, penalties for illegal structures and demolition orders, tenancy, landlord-tenant law, and lease agreements. Types of leases: fixed term, periodic, tenancy at will, landlord obligations versus tenant rights. Eviction procedures and notice periods, rent control laws and housing tribunals, security deposits, maintenance clauses, and breach of contract. Environmental and sustainability compliance. Environmental laws. Pollution control, green building, waste disposal, land conservation, and flood zone regulations. Renewable energy requirements in modern buildings. Brownfield versus greenfield regulations. Urban green infrastructure, e.g., parks, rain gardens. Taxation and real estate fiscal policies. Property taxes, land use charges, stamp duties. Capital gains tax on property sales value. Added tax, VAT, on commercial leases varies by country. tax incentives for affordable housing and urban regeneration, tax clearance certificate for property registration, dispute resolution and legal redress in real estate litigation, breach of contract, trespass, defective title, arbitration and mediation practices in land and tenancy disputes, government compensation for compulsory acquisition, tribunal adjudication for rent disputes, real estate fraud, fake agents, cloned land titles, impersonation, learning outcomes. By the end of this module, you will be able to identify and apply the relevant laws governing different real estate types, conduct proper legal due diligence before purchasing, leasing, or developing property, navigate land registration, planning approvals, and title verification systems, interpret zoning, tenancy, and taxation regulations, operate within ethical, environmental, and legal boundaries in real estate practices, resolve property disputes through appropriate legal channels,